Iowa really on TV-8.
It's 10 o'clock. And now, from TV-8, where news is #1, Kevin Cooney, Kathy Saltero, Connie McBurney with weather, and Pete Taylor sports. This is TV-8 News, live at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A wind chill advisory out for a dangerous night tonight. As far as the weather goes, tonight's possibly record cold temperatures and a full day of snow have left road crews and homeless shelters with a busy night ahead. But now the snow has stopped, and word is there is still room in local missions. TV-8's Chris Listad has the cold weather details.
Des Moines police offered to let the city's homeless spend the night in their station house rather than freeze outside.
We want to do what we can to assist them and give them a place of safety and a place that's warm so that they don't have to be out there on the streets unnecessarily.
But there are no takers, despite an air temperature that could dip down to 20 below zero and a wind chill far below that. Men can seek shelter at local missions, and some are. The Door of Faith men's mission is full, although newcomers can sleep in the library there tonight. In contrast, the Bethel mission still has plenty of room. About 40 men are there now, but another 20 beds remain empty.
A lot of people don't think we have room. They hear that there's no room and they don't try to come in.
Outside, conditions aren't as comfortable. Roads are snowy and very slick. The driver of this fuel truck lost control on a county highway near Cumming. He was treated at a Des Moines hospital and released. Now road crews can step in to make traveling safer. They'll be up all night. City and state snowplows and sand trucks are out in force at this hour, trying to clear the streets and highways while traffic is light. The big question now is what condition roads will be in tomorrow morning in time for rush hour traffic after the long, cold night ahead. Chris Lidstad, TV-8 News.
Steve Carlin here now, too, with an update on this weather situation. It doesn't seem like it's going to get any better.
No, it's going to get worse before it gets better, actually. It's very cold tonight, but believe it or not, it's going to be very cold tomorrow. The only thing that has really improved since 6 o'clock is the road conditions. We take a look at those right now. At 6 o'clock, they were 0 to 100% snow covered. Now the east central and southeastern portions of Iowa are 0 to 50% snow packed. The central, south central, and southwestern areas of the state are 0 to 25% snow covered. Light snow is still falling in southern Iowa, but it should taper off shortly. If you're traveling tonight and tomorrow, please take care. Our temperatures have not improved since 6. In fact, the mercury has fallen quite sharply. 14 below up in Spencer, 12 below in Mason City, 9 below in Fort Dodge, but the only warm spot in the state right now is Burlington at 5 above. And wind chills are not much better. Falling off to 56 below in Spencer, 57 below in Mason City. Feels like 52 below in Sioux City, and as you head south, it really doesn't get too much warmer. Things are just horrible out there, and probably won't get any better until about this weekend.
Okay, well, we'll have more, unfortunately.
We certainly will.
In a little bit. All right, thanks, Steve.
The cold and snow have prompted some school cancellations and delays. First, no school tomorrow in Earlham and the Green Mountain School District. Dallas County Christian School canceled tomorrow and Friday. The Christmas program that was scheduled for tomorrow is also canceled. And there's no school tomorrow at Corning and at the Warren County Head Start program in Indianola.
And we've just received word that the Sac and Fox Indian Settlement School in Tama will not have school tomorrow. There are also some delays for area school districts. The BGM Brooklyn School District buses and classes will be 1 hour late tomorrow. Elementary school Christmas program set for tonight has been rescheduled for tomorrow at 1:30 in the afternoon. Van Meter Community Schools will start 1 hour later tomorrow. Coon Rapids school buses and classes delayed by 2 hours. Bondurant Farrar 1 hour late, and 1.5 hour delay at the Clarion Goldfield Community Schools. Now, Des Moines school officials have been getting a lot of calls. They will not announce any decision until early tomorrow morning. Of course, we will have Operation Snowstorm in effect tomorrow morning beginning at 6:30 on TV-8 with complete listings of closings, delays, and travel information. That is tomorrow beginning on the TV-8 Morning News at 6:30.
Now, the latest on the U.S. invasion of Panama. First is light development. General Manuel Noriega has been heard from for the first time since last night's invasion. Noriega made a brief statement on Panamanian radio, vowing never to surrender. He said, "We're in trench warfare, and we will maintain the resistance." Noriega added, "Our slogan is win or die, not one step back." Noriega appealed for the rest of the world to help with men, dignity, and strength.
Well, those first words from Noriega came after a night and day full of fighting in Panama, mostly in Panama City. At last report, that fighting had claimed 15 American lives, including 1 civilian. There have been 59 persons wounded. American military, that is. The move by the military came for 4 reasons, according to the White House early today: to get Manuel Noriega on those drug trafficking indictments, protect Americans in Panama, assist the Panamanian government that's recognized by this country, the one that was elected last May, and to protect the Panama Canal. Tonight, U.S. officials say organized resistance is all but over, but Noriega is still at large.
The Panama invasion plan divided the central part of the country into 5 areas, but easily the heaviest fighting was in Panama City, specifically in the area of the headquarters of Noriega's troops, the Panamanian Defense Forces, or PDF. The objective was to seal off troops loyal to Noriega and give them the option of fighting against an overwhelming U.S. force or surrendering.
They were, a number of them, quite loyal to General Noriega, and so we were prepared for that and went down in sufficient force. So they did resist. They didn't resist for long. Some fought hard and some didn't fight hardly at all.
U.S. military officials say the military aspect of the mission is a success, but there were considerable casualties. The first plane load of American wounded arrived in Texas this afternoon. Apparently, a pivotal point in the decision whether to invade came from recent intelligence reports that many Americans in Panama could be in danger.
We received an intelligence report that General Noriega was considering launching an urban commando attack on American citizens in a residential neighborhood.
General Noriega's reckless threats and attacks upon Americans in Panama created an imminent danger to the 35,000 American citizens in Panama. As president, I have no higher obligation than to safeguard the lives of American citizens.
Now, tonight, U.S. officials issued a statement saying there is a $1 million reward for Manuel Noriega.
A Hampton, Iowa family is relieved tonight to know that their son survived the attack on Panama. 21-year-old Thomas Hagman is a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division out of Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Tonight he called his parents to tell them he was injured by some shrapnel during one of the jumps, but the injuries were minor and he was preparing to rejoin the troops. Hagman couldn't say much about what was going on in Panama, but he told his father, Carl, yesterday was rough. Carl said he's proud of his son. Despite Thomas having to be in Panama, he feels President Bush did the right thing, initiating the attack to protect the Panama Canal.
For the most part, political leaders in Iowa are supporting President Bush and the United States action in Panama. TV-8's Todd Magel has a reaction from Iowa's 2 U.S. senators and more on several Iowa military men now in Panama.
While American soldiers were fighting their way through Panama in the early morning hours and during the day today, reaction poured in at home. Support for General Noriega's capture crossed political lines. Iowa Senator Charles Grassley summed up his feelings by saying President Bush was acting for all American people.
Both people in Congress and outside the Congress, this is getting broad bipartisan support. I think it just is indicative of the fact of how broad-based the opposition to Noriega is and how fed up the American people are with this tin-horn dictator just threatening the United States all the time and actually killing Americans.
Grassley's Democratic counterpart, Senator Tom Harkin, also is behind the president.
Because of Noriega's dealing in drugs, I believe the president's actions was warranted in Panama, and from all the appearances I have so far is that it was done in a very prudent manner.
Among the thousands of American troops in Panama, 3 Iowa National Guard officers are on duty. 47-year-old Mike Cortana from Pleasant Hill has been on an intelligence training mission since Halloween. His wife is still in Des Moines.
Of course, my first thought was, I hope he's okay because he's working at headquarters. And half an hour after, I heard that the Guard called and told me that they had just talked to him and that he was fine.
2 other Iowa Guardsmen are stationed in Panama. 42-year-old Lieutenant Colonel Mike Nevin of Fairfield is an operations officer in the Southern Command headquarters. 52-year-old Master Sergeant Mike Zimmerman is a public affairs officer from Polk City. National Guard officials say all 3 men are in secured areas and are safe. Todd Magel, TV-8 News.
CBS News will have a special report updating all the latest Panamanian developments tonight at 10:30, right after this newscast.
The government has set up some phone numbers, that is, if you're trying to find out information about friends and relatives who may be involved in the Panama situation. For inquiries about military personnel in the Army, that number is 1-800-233-5259. The Navy's number is 1-800-523-2975. The Air Force personnel number is 1-800-531-5501. And for inquiries about Marine Corps personnel, the number is 1-202-694-1492. If you have questions about civilians living in Panama, the number to call is 1-202-647-7310. Panamanian students attending school here in central Iowa have been watching developments there with concern. TV-8's Michelle Parker tells us about the reaction of some of those students.
This is finals week for Ramon Alvarado, a pharmacy student at Drake University, but events in his native land of Panama have made it hard for him to study.
My best friend lives right here, right there, cut between the Southern Command and Noriega's headquarters.
Alvarado watched news reports of the developments in Panama. He also was able to talk to his family members there. They told him of hearing bombing and gunfire. Alvarado says he was glad to see the U.S. take action against Manuel Noriega.
These American citizens were being harassed, and I think at that point that was the only choice they had.
While it was not our desire to hurt the Panamanian people or the
Grandview College student Ava Garcia also spent much of her day watching television to hear the latest about Panama. Her parents and sisters live there. She's been calling them every few hours to get updates on their situation. So far, she says, they are safe. Garcia says she's concerned about what will happen next in Panama.
I'm praying that everything will be fine, and because after this, so many things can happen.
Rodrigo Tarte is a graduate student at Iowa State University. He's also taking final tests this week, but obviously his mind also has been on Panama. Tarte says he supports the U.S. action because Panamanians could not deal with Noriega by themselves.
I just hope that we could return back to democracy, which we haven't had in 21 years, and I would sure hope that the U.S. would give us a helping hand, not just quit now, but give us a helping hand in installing our democracy.
Michelle Parker, TV-8 News.
Well, still ahead on TV-8 News, we'll take a view of what the cold weather has done to the mighty Missouri and Mississippi rivers.
We'll be right back. Construction of a new minimum security prison in Ottumwa will begin in March. Despite some objections, corrections officials voted unanimously to build the facility at the Ottumwa Area Industrial Park. Earlier this year, the Department of Corrections chose the site because of the number of parolees returning to the area. The facility will house 36 prison parolees and work release inmates and is expected to cost $1 million to build. Nearby residents objected to the facility moving into the neighborhood, but were unsuccessful in petitioning its construction.
The cold weather is turning two of the Midwest's major rivers into giant ice cubes. In St. Louis, where the Missouri and Mississippi rivers meet, there's growing concern over an ice jam. Engineers fear the huge ice chunks could damage bridges and just about anything that gets in the path. The Army Corps of Engineers and U.S. Coast Guard are both joining forces to try and solve the problem. The groups met this morning, as a matter of fact, and their decision, wait just a little bit longer in hopes that Mother Nature will take care of the situation. Just in case, however, an expert on river ice is going to be flown in to take a look at the jam. It is huge.
We're all going to be giant ice cubes, I think, tonight.
I think you're right. It's one of those situations where you kind of have to grin and bear it, right?
Yeah, well,
people like myself have not been very popular lately, so it's my job to give you a little good news. It is going to get colder before it gets better, but there's a warm-up on the way for the weekend. Details are next.
For the latest weather information, day or night, call the TV-8 Weather Beacon Forecast at 262-7173, a 24-hour service of your Des Moines area Hy-Vee stores and Planters Nuts.
Okay, TV-8's Eric Ulbrich certainly is a very brave man. He was out earlier tonight shooting this from the 9th Street Bridge. This is Interstate 235, and there aren't too many cars out there. Those people are smart. Right now in Des Moines, we have cloudy skies. It's 4 below. Wind chill feels like 28 below out there, so please stay inside unless you absolutely have to go out. Wind is out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Relative humidity is at 61%. Barometric pressure is on the rise because we have very, very cold Arctic high pressure building in. Road conditions right now, since we just looked at a road, have improved since 6 o'clock when they were almost 100% snow-packed. 50% snow-packed off to the east central and southeastern portions of the state. In central, south central, and southwestern Iowa, 0 to 25% snow-packed, and they'll probably get better as they work on them a little bit more. Temperatures across the state at this hour are very cold, and they're going to get a lot colder. It's 12 below up in Mason City right now, 14 below in Spencer, 9 below in Fort Dodge. The warmest temperatures are reported down in the southern reaches of the state, 0 at Lamoni right now and 5 in Burlington. But that 5 in Burlington with the wind chill translates to 6 below, 25 below down in Lamoni. Look way up north, 57 below, feels that way up in Mason City. Glad I'm not up there. 56 below in Spencer. 52 below for a wind chill in Sioux City. High temperatures today, everybody's struggling to get above 0. Down in the southern reaches of the state, they were quite lucky. Hit the teens, 18 degrees for a high in Lamoni today, 11 in Ottumwa, but look up here, it just hit 4 below at Mason City today, 5 below at Spencer. Here in Des Moines, a high of 10 after starting out the day at 0. Our normals for this time of year, 16 and 32. Central Iowa close up, everybody for the most part in the single digits to the lower teens. 12 degrees in Albia and Sheraton. Way up north in Iowa Falls and Webster City just reached 0 today for high temperatures. High temperatures across the nation show kind of a warm bubble of air in the central United States right here. 27 degrees in Kansas City, 20 in St. Louis, but way to the north of that, things cool off quite a bit. 21 below up in International Falls, 10 below in Bismarck, 6 in Sault Ste. Marie. Only real warm spot in the country today was in Miami at 83 degrees today. 6 o'clock satellite photo shows clear skies, but as the day wears on, the clouds move in, and by 9 o'clock, pretty cloudy right now, but things will be moving out later on. There is a wind chill advisory in effect for most of the central United States. A snow advisory in effect for portions of Colorado where they could receive 5 to 8 inches of snow. Freezing temperatures as far south as the Rio Grande Valley tonight. Storm warning in effect for western Pennsylvania and Michigan where they could receive 8 to 12 inches of snow. For tomorrow, the cold weather will continue to push south, followed by this cold Arctic high pressure. We'll see the sunshine, but it's not going to reach the middle portion of the United States until about Friday morning. So things are going to be quite cold for quite a while. Forecast for the state of Iowa for tonight, winds out of the north at 15 to 25. That wind chill advisory is in effect. Our temperatures ranging from 15 below to about 30 below across the state of Iowa. And the weather beacon is white with colder weather in sight. Tomorrow, clear to partly cloudy skies, wind out of the northwest at 10 to 20, and our temperatures ranging from 5 below to 15 below. Forecast for Des Moines and central Iowa for tonight, wind chill advisory in effect. We could see record cold with dangerous wind chills. Skies becoming clear to partly cloudy later on with the low around 20 below with the north wind at 15 to 25. That means we could see some drifting snow. Tomorrow, continued cold with mostly clear skies, high around 10 below with the north to northwest wind at 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, cloudy with clear to partly cloudy skies. Colder with clear to partly cloudy skies, low from 20 to 25 below. Friday, mostly sunny and warmer, high from 0 to 5 above. The extended outlook for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, a chance of snow about Sunday. Temperatures on Saturday from 5 to 15 above. The highs warming to the lower 20s to the middle 30s by Monday, and the lows mostly in the teens throughout the period.
Almost balmy.
Almost balmy compared to what we have.
Merry Christmas, huh?
Yeah.
We should say always dress in layers if you have to go outside. Really be careful. Don't go outside if you don't have to. We were talking about the collision in St. Louis of all the ice.
Yeah.
Well, it was number 4 against number 5 in St. Louis in basketball tonight.
Pete Taylor with Missouri, Illinois highlights and the rest of the day's sports coming up.
Who are those people?
Yeah.
I don't know any of them. Hey, big game tonight.
Big game, and it turned out to be much the same as it has the past several years because it was a top-rated matchup in college basketball, and the game just completed. Number 5 Illinois knocked number 4 Missouri from the ranks of the unbeaten, 101 to 93 tonight. The Illini have now won 7 straight from the Tigers in that series. Early in the game, Missouri works it inside. McIntyre to Doug Smith for the jam, 13 to 12 Tigers. Smith had 22. The Illini took control late in the half. Kendall Gill canned the jumper, and Illinois opened up a 10-point lead at 40 to 30. Gill with 25. Now in the second half, the Tigers closed the gap to 2 behind Nathan Bunton scoring here on the inside. That made it 60 to 58 Illinois. Then the Illini pulled away. Marcus Liberty gets the roll on the jumper, and that made it 82 to 72. Liberty with a career-high 24 as Illinois beat Missouri tonight, 101 to 93. Now on to other college basketball activity. Michigan State got back on the winning track with an 80 to 66 victory at Evansville. and Minnesota stopped Washington 77-60. Purdue also a winner, 60-55 over California. In the Missouri Valley, UTEP is leading Creighton 66-59 late in the second half. Austin P over Bradley 70-65. Games for rated teams. Number 3 Georgetown pounded Virginia Tech 97-64. Number 8 LSU by 10 over Northwestern Louisiana. 17th rated Memphis State a 59-55 winner over New Orleans. And in girls basketball tonight in the McDonald's tournament, Sioux City North over Des Moines North 42-24. Dowling beat Sioux City East 61-42. NBA action tonight. Denver won at Cleveland 104-89, and Boston topped Utah 113-109. Larry Bird with 40. Dallas over New Jersey 84-78. Philadelphia a 7-point winner over Washington. The Orlando Magic continued to be a surprise. Tonight the Magic pulled a rabbit out of the hat against Chicago. 13 seconds left. Bulls get it to Michael Jordan, who pulls up and hits the bank shot to give Chicago a 1-point lead with about 7 seconds to play. Orlando then brings it in. Otis Smith drives down the lane, hits a tough scoop shot. The Magic up by 1 with 2 seconds left. The Bulls quickly inbound the pass. Cartwright to Jordan, who cannot get the shot off. No foul was called. Orlando held on to beat Chicago by 1 tonight. The final, Orlando 110 and Chicago 109. The Lakers going into overtime to beat another new franchise, Minnesota 106-97. San Antonio a 3-point winner over Sacramento. Games in progress, Indiana leading Phoenix by 9 in Phoenix, and Golden State with a 2-point lead on Houston in the first quarter. Mets and the Dodgers involved in a 3-player trade today. Mets sent outfielder Juan Samuel to the Dodgers. He was just acquired last year from the Phillies, but Samuel batted only .228 for the Mets. In return, New York gets outfielder Mike Marshall and pitcher Alejandro Pena. Marshall hit .269 last year with 11 home runs. Pena 4-3 with an ERA of 2.15. Players selected for the Pro Bowl game today. The Vikings had the most players chosen with 7. Cincinnati and the Rams and 49ers all next in line with 6 selections apiece. Former Iowa players Jay Hilgenberg and Reggie Roby were picked for the game, along with Davenport native Roger Craig. And the all-decade team for the Big 8 football conference is one Iowa State player on the first unit. Carl Nelson, who just announced his retirement from the Giants, was named to the first team. He played in the offensive line from 79 to 82. The all-decade team has a pretty fair backfield. Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Mike Rozier, and Nebraska quarterback Turner Gill make up that unit.
What a team.
Oh, dream team.
Thanks, Pete.
We'll be right back.
On Wall Street, the Dow Industrial is down more than 7 points. Average share up 3 cents. Volume today 176 million. New York gold up $1.70. Silver up 3 cents. The Iowa cattle market was firm. Hogs steady to 50 higher. Corn prices were mixed, and soybeans 3 to 7 lower. Steve?
Kevin, that wind chill advisory is in effect tonight. We'll see a low around 20 below. Tomorrow, continued cold with mostly clear skies. High only around 10 below. Right now, cloudy skies and 4 below.
Okay, got to go quickly because of a CBS News special report on Panama coming up next.